Hey guys, and welcome to another refilmed video. This is going to be a real refilming of my review on the Red Dragon deck. Really like the look of this deck, but that's pretty much all I like about it. So let's get right into it. Last time I reviewed it was a really long time ago. I really didn't know what I was saying, and I didn't really like how the video turned out. Didn't give it proper ratings. So let's get right into it. And also, if you like the new uh, setup for deck reviews, just comment down below. If you don't, let me know. I'm just going to try something new on this. So let's get into the review. Here's the box. It has a dragon on the front, says bicycle, and it's red and yellow. Very stunning. The air cushion finish says all the normal things you get on a bicycle deck, so I really don't need to go into that. Extra cards. I really like this deck. You get a dragon card. I think this poses as a joker, and then you get a double backer, but a kind of a special one. On one side, it's a reversed image of the back design, which is this. I'll let you take a look at the back design there. Not much to see. It's just a normal rider back design with red and yellow, but it really looks really nice. Here's a double backer, normal one, and then you also get a blank card, like this. I really like blank cards, decks that come with blank cards. I think they're really useful in really visual Magic. So yeah, here's the deck. You saw the back design again. I really like the design when you spread it out. I think it looks really cool. The borders are pretty thick, but still, you see some of the yellow, and it just really stands out. So the borders don't really have to be thin for it to stand out that much. Let's take a look at some of the face cards. Probably my favorite aspect of this deck. I'll just take out the Queen, Jack, King of Spades, I guess. There it is. I'll take a look at some red ones later. But I really, really like these face cards. Sorry about the glare there. But it's really weird that with a red and yellow deck, they even added some green. And when you say that without looking at it, you might think that doesn't seem like they would go together. But I mean, look at that. It's just so cool. The artwork is really stunning. I really like it. And then let me show you some red face cards. These are a bit like, I don't know how to explain it. They're a bit pale. I don't know. Pale, I'd say maybe. But they still got the green, just more yellow. And yeah, I really like the red ones too. So yeah, that's basically the design. I'll show you a bit of the number cards too. The number cards are actually a bit different. They're a bit more pointy, and they're a bit smaller. I don't know if you can tell, but the spades are a bit smaller and a bit more pointy. You kind of have to see it in person. The clubs and the diamonds are the same, but the hearts and the spades are a bit pointy, and they're a bit smaller. So that's the design. Let's get into the handling, which you're going to be disappointed to hear. But the handling is not great at all. There's a lot of ink saturation, which means there's just a lot of ink on these cards, as you probably could tell. In my last review, I portrayed this deck as pretty good handling, and that's just not true. The stock is a bit softer than a normal bicycle stock, about the same, but a bit softer, which is just a bit too soft for me. When you spring it, it doesn't feel so great in the hands, and I don't know. I just don't love the stock. And smoothness, also a problem. Since there's so much ink, it's almost like you're holding a black deck in the way it clumps so much. After you take the deck out of the box after not using it for a while, it will fan okay, but then once you start to use it for 5-10 minutes, it just starts to get blocky. I just took this deck out after a while, so you can see it. I got a pretty even fan, and it does look okay in fans. The border is too thick, but and the front looks pretty cool too with the red and yellow. It's a nice contrast. But once you just play with this deck for a while, it just doesn't perform well. The paw spreads are almost impossible to do, actually. The stock is just too soft. and pressure fans. Actually pretty good because it's a soft stock and the cards are slippery enough to do pressure fans. But if I were you, I would only get this deck if you're like a flourisher, and even then it's kind of risky because of the edges. It's like a black deck. I don't know if you can see this, but the edges they're chipped a lot, almost more than a black deck, which isn't very noticeable because it's a bright back design. But when you're handling and playing around with it, it does get kind of annoying. So magicians, don't buy this deck unless you're a collector or you like to flourish as a side thing, because you could get some pretty cool cuts with this, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can get a worm going here. Yeah, cuts do look pretty cool with this deck, I have to say. But, I mean, that's about it. I do recommend this deck, especially if you're a flourisher or a collector, because it just looks brilliantly. Sorry, that didn't make sense. It just looks brilliant. Sorry. So yeah, I recommend this deck as long as you're okay with having a deck that doesn't handle well, but just looks magnificent. And yeah, that's pretty much the Red Dragon deck. I'll get into my ratings here. So look, they nailed it. This is one of my favorite looking decks. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 because although I have nothing to complain about the cards, the design of the cards themselves, it does chip, which does take away a bit from the design element. Handling. Sorry guys, sorry you have to hear this, but 5 out of 10. I just don't like the handling. It doesn't feel really great in the hands. That 5 out of 10 is pretty harsh, so I don't know. If it's still pretty fun to play around with. You can still do your cuts and dribbles, only they just don't feel as comfortable. Stock, another 5. I'm sorry. It's just too soft. Another, like I said on my Eco Edition deck, it's just too soft for me. And it does wear out really fast because of all the ink saturation. So yeah, that's my review, guys. Comment if you like the new setup, and anything else you want to comment, just feel free. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.